Omagyan Timidandasya Ginangina Shalakaya Chaksunimilitam Jena Tasmai Si Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Jena Putale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadanti Svabhadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama. Well, first of all, I wanted to say how happy I am to be back in Macedonia. In Skopje, one of the major capitals of the world, to the Macedonians. And I'm very glad to be here with our team, our cultural conquest team. We're planning to conquer the world with culture. Alexander the Great tried to conquer the world with warfare. We're taking the silent approach. We're doing it with culture. Prabhupada actually said that he was interested in a cultural conquest. The arts, the music, the dance, the song, the poetry, the paintings. We have the best of it all. So it all kind of came together on the Baltic Sea coast in Poland, where we've been doing our cultural conquest for 35 years. And we just decided to go big. So we came to Skopje. Please, I don't mean to say, indicate that small is beautiful. Nice things come in small packages. And my team's just loves it here. The weather is beautiful. The pace of life is much slower. The people are really nice. So, yeah, we're starting off here, and then we're going to go conquer London and then India. So we're starting here. A wonderful program that you've all arranged for us. Thank you so much. Take place on Friday or Saturday? Saturday, yeah. But I thought this evening I would speak about someone that you all know very well, but perhaps our team doesn't know, Alexander the Great. Let's give him a little applause, yes. Actually, when we go downtown, you'll see how great he is. He's about 20 meters high. They have a beautiful statue of him there, because this is historically where he took birth. And of course, his history is like many conquerors. He was unique in that he pretty much conquered the known world at that time, from here in Europe all the way to India. There's actually mention of him in the writings of the scribes of the kings there, but we won't go into that right now. What I'd like to share with you is that he was somewhat enlightened, Alexander the Great. He was somewhat enlightened, and that we can tell by his departure from this world. To understand the greatness of someone, you don't necessarily have to go through their whole history. Just like to understand what is the ocean, the vast ocean, you don't have to drink the whole ocean. You take a drop of the ocean and then, ocean salty. So by this little drop of his history, we can actually appreciate him. In some ways, as a wise man, in some ways. Because after conquering many kingdoms, many kingdoms, all the way to India, his army was exhausted by that time. He wanted to go on, I don't know, to China or whatever. But the men were getting tired, so he agreed to come back here. And unfortunately, on that long journey home, he fell ill. There's different versions of what type of illness he had, but he fell ill, so ill that he was actually on his deathbed. He was dying, and he knew it. And he composed himself, and he left behind lessons for his army, lessons for his country, Macedonia, and actually wisdom is universal. Real wisdom applies to all human beings. If it's really wisdom, wisdom means on the transcendental platform. I often say when I'm speaking to new audiences about Bhagavad Gita that the book appeared, the knowledge appeared in India when Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita 5,000 years ago on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But it wasn't just meant for that time and that place and those people. It's universal knowledge. Rajavidya, Rajaguyam, the king of education. And actually it's meant for the whole world. And that can be understood from just one verse in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says that he's the seed-giving father of all living entities. He's the seed-giving father of all living entities. That means we all have the same father, original father. So that means we're all brothers and sisters, yes? We're all brothers and sisters. And if brothers and sisters squabble, they don't have war. So this is a peace formula which I'm going to speak about on Saturday. The peace formula. Prabhupada coined that peace formula, Krishna consciousness. So that's wisdom. Wisdom is not sectarian, it applies to all of humanity. Like that verse in Vedanta Sutra, Atato Brahma Jignasya. Now that you've come to the human form of life, what's your business? Doesn't matter if you're Macedonian or Serbian or Australian or Chinese. Your business is to become self-realized, to understand your deeper spiritual nature, to understand the source of all existence, material and spiritual, God or Krishna, and what is your intimate, loving relationship with Him. That's wisdom. So he spoke some wisdom. At the time of his death, he actually called all his generals forward, powerful men, like warriors, and he spoke something spiritual to them, like what? Kshatriyas are talking about fighting and this pose and that, and this sword and that weapon. He called them forward and he said, my dear generals, I have 3 wishes on my deathbed. I have 3 wishes. He said, please carry them out without fail. So they were very surrendered to him, very surrendered. They would give their life for him. Many did. Many laid down their lives for him, as Kshatriyas do. So with tears, actually, flowing down their cheeks, the generals agreed to abide by their king. For them, he was the king, by the king's wishes. So they said, Sire, what are your 3 wishes? So Alexander, he was dying, so the voice is not so strong at death. And death's very traumatic. The soul is being torn from the body. So it's very traumatic. But he was composed. He was composed. And he said very clearly, my first desire is that my physicians, my doctors, who are all crying also, alone must carry my coffin. When someone dies, the what they call the pallbearers, there's some of that person's friends or associates or family members, they all carry 6 or 8 men will carry the coffin. So he said, only my doctors can carry my coffin. And they're all kind of confused. Well, what about this general and that? No, only my doctors. When I die, You take me to my grave, only doctors can carry my coffin. Then he paused, because that's the art of public speaking. You let it sink in a little bit, like now. He continued, secondly, I desire that when my coffin is being carried to my grave, the path leading to the graveyard be strewn with gold, silver, and all types of precious stones, which I have collected through all the years in my treasury. Like, what? You fought many wars to collect that booty, we called it. When you win a war, then you can take from the dead bodies. So for many years, all from here to Asia Minor through Asia, he had collected so much. So he said, you take it all when I die, and you just, from where I die to my grave, you just, all jewels, gold, silver, rubies, emeralds, diamonds. The generals were shocked. And they said, Sire, what is your third wish? They were like, what? Only doctors carry your coffin? You know, all the booty you've carried, you've won, so throw it on the ground, we will walk on it to your grave? What is your third wish? They're like leaning over, because now he's ready to die. The voice becomes like that. Doesn't my godbrother Kanana Maharaj, I think maybe you've heard of him, great kirtaneer. He was dying. He was also composed. He was a wonderful devotee. And his last words were, mission. So it's a great spiritual warrior. Mission, the mission of Prabhupada, to spread the Sankirtan mission around the world. So we can also be composed at that traumatic moment if we're how would you say, proficient in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. You have to practice. Practice makes perfect. But if you die with the name of Krishna on your tongue, you go. My mother died like that. She was an atheist, staunch atheist. My mother was Phi Beta Kappa, the highest award you can get at America's greatest university, Stanford. She was honored. She had a trophy. Smart woman, but she's atheist. It's a long story, but when she came close to death, I wasn't there. She told my brother, you know that Bhagavad Gita that your older brother, Brian, me, he sent many, go get it. It's in the garage under the grease, the oil. My brother bought the Bhagavad Gita to her, and she was in a rocking chair, and for the last 6 months of her life, all she did was read Bhagavad Gita. And then she asked my brother, I think that your older brother has a tape ministry in London. You order all the tapes. My brother said, Mom, do it. So she sat in her rocking chair and she listened to my humble lectures, read Bhagavad Gita. So when she was dying, this atheist mama, she looked up and she said to my brother, Peter, don't you lament for me. I'm not this body. I'm going to Krishna. This is the miracle of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. Miracle means something that contradicts the laws of material nature. You know, we've heard in Christianity, Jesus walked on water, he cured the dead. So miracle means something that can't be explained by logic and reasoning, but it happened. So Mom, Krishna. And I'm still here, you know, trying to make my mom's there. You can chant the name, but it takes practice. And you have to go through the ups and downs. You should welcome the tough times that you go through in life because they force you to take shelter of Krishna. Sometimes there's no other option. A loved one's sick, or you're sick, or there's war, there's this, and it's, oh my God, yes. Chant his name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare. Kunti Devi, if you read in the Bhagavatam, she had so many trials. She went through them depending on Krishna. And at the end, when Krishna saved her, she said, let those calamities come again and again and again. Because when those calamities come, I just think of your lotus feet. There's no other shelter. I think of your lotus feet. And Krishna, by thinking of your lotus feet, I don't have to take birth again in this material world. So let it, come on. So let the good times roll, which means Sunday feast, and prasadam and kirtan and devotees. But if the tough times come, you also say, thank you, Krishna. Now I can take real shelter. So that was Alexander. So they said, he's so composed. What is your third wish, sire? My third wish is that both my hands are kept dangling outside of my coffin. Like, what? Wouldn't that be strange? They're carrying your coffin, your hands are hanging out. Dang. Mommy, it's scary. He wanted his hands, like it's closed, but they had to have some opening. His hands are like that. So Alexander's favorite general, I forget his name, he was by his side, big, strong, heroic, scars all over his body, right? Ladies like, the eyebrows a certain way, and the lips a certain way. The injections. Anyway, I live in this world, I see these things. And the men like, the six-pack. And if you're Kshatriya, you like scars, because that's shown that you've gone into battle and you've served. If you're Kshatriya, it means you're a devotee of Krishna. They fought, the kings, the Rajput kings fought for Govindaji. They didn't mind dying. Krishna says in the Gita, you go to the heavenly planets. Or if you're a devotee, you go back home. They don't mind. So if they get scars, it means that they're out on the battlefield. Now we try to hide the scar. So the general said, O king, we assure you that your wishes will be fulfilled. But tell us, why do you make such strange wishes? So there was not much life left in Alexander. So he took a deep breath. And now they're like, just very close to his mouth. He said, I want my physicians to carry my coffin because people should realize that no doctor can really cure anybody. They are powerless. It cannot save a person who is destined to die. Destined to die. Everyone's destined to die. They're thinking, well, I'll pay the doctor more money. I'll give you half my kingdom. No, death will come. Prabhupada said, when you die, you have to fly your own airplane. I heard him say it, and I went, whoa. When you die, you have to fly your own airplane. No one will be there but you. So take advantage of Hari, Guru, and Vaishnava while you have. Don't waste a moment. You can't buy back even one moment of human life for all the gold in the world. So we shouldn't waste any time. We catch ourselves, frivolous talk, this and that. I'm not going to details because, maybe I should be chanting Hare Krishna. So that was a nice instruction. Let the doctors, because, see, they couldn't save me. The doctors didn't save him. That's my point. And Bob Dylan, heard of Bob Dylan? He not busy being born is busy dying. And Krishna says in the Gita, for one who has taken his birth, death is certain. And for one who has died, birth is certain. So these are sober talks meant to wake us up. Wake up. That's Prahlad used to say, wake up. So then he said, then they came even closer because nobody could figure out the second one. My second wish of putting, throwing all the gold, the silver, I don't know if they had platinum in those days, um, rubies, emeralds, sapphires, diamonds, throw it all on the ground. Is to tell people that not even a fraction of gold will come with me. I spent my whole life earning riches, but I can't take anything with me. Let people realize it's a sheer waste of time to chase wealth as your main goal in life. Money is the honey, money is the honey, it's so sweet, can't be beat. It's not true. There's a prayer to Durga. Can you find that? Devi, the on the Polish tour, the Sankhya dance. They did that. They chanted to that. They danced to that mantra. Everyone, oh, so beautiful, so Krishna conscious. It's a prayer. It's a prayer to Maya. Please give me money, give me wealth, give me this, give me bum 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 bum. It's nice. Bum 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 bum. Devam dagani dagani dagani. Trying to keep you entertained till they find. If you don't know it, I'll excuse you. Okay. Those who desire material wealth worship Durga Devi with the following mantra. Dhanam Dehi Rupam Devi Rupavati Bharyam Devi. Dhanam Dehi Rupam Dehi Rupavati Bharyam Devi. O worshipful Mother Durga Devi, please give me wealth, strength, fame, a beautiful wife, and so on. And that the Sankhya was they were singing them. What can do that one again? Like I gave one class many years ago, and a guest came afterwards. He said, "You're a guru. Can you initiate me into that mantra?" I said, "No." So that was his second lesson. Tell people that even if not even a fraction of gold can come with me. I spent all my life earning riches. It was a waste of time. That was the idea of putting it all on the ground as he walked along. And then they came even closer and they said, Sire, what is your third wish? What is your third wish that you've expressed to us on your deathbed? And he said, about my third wish of having my hands dangling outside of the coffin. Can you guess? I wish people to know that I came empty-handed into this world and I'm leaving this world empty-handed. With these words, the king closed his eyes and died. Give him a little applause, Alexander. Actually, you never know who you're sitting next to. Sometimes I travel the world and I see various devotees. I see children especially, and you see they have this, obviously from past birth, they just love to chant or they love to listen. And I'll say afterwards, did you understand everything I said? Of course I did. How old are you? 7. So Alexander, whoever he was, some loved him, some hated him, but I think that he had some deep wisdom there. So Krishna said the same thing, but in fewer words. Elegance, there's a saying in Bengal, elegance is truth spoken concisely. So Krishna said, Kalashmi. Time I am, destroyer of all the worlds. It's just like in one small package, whatever we try to acquire. be it gross jewels or subtle fame and name. It's all destroyed. The only thing that's eternal is what? Krishna consciousness. Whatever progress you make in this lifetime, whatever progress in Krishna consciousness, guaranteed it stays with you. What stays with you in this when you die? Nothing. But whatever progress you've made, because it's service to the divine, it's service to God, it's service to Krishna, it stays with you. And if you make 60% advancement in Krishna consciousness in this short duration of life, next life, you get a plus. 61, you get an upgrade. Like sometimes we travel in a hotel, and I stay in so many hotels in my life, like the Marriott, and I'll go and I'll say, can I have an upgrade? Yes, sir, you stay. We'll give you a better room. So Krishna's so kind, you get an upgrade. 1%, but that's a lot. You have to work for it, 1%. This world. So this is the difference between material life and spiritual life. Of course, time I am, the destroyer of all the worlds. That means for us individually, not just the worlds, it means death. We have to die. And we keep telling people, they don't want to hear it. I didn't come to your festival to hear about death. What's the verse? Ahanyahani bhutani gacchantili yamalam. What's the translation? Ahanyahani bhutani. Every moment. Yeah, that was when the questions were being asked, right? To the Pandavas. What's the most amazing thing? Ahanyahani bhutani gachantiya yamalayam. Every moment people are dying. But those who are living are thinking, my friend has died, but I should live forever. Mahabharata. Vanaparva 313, 116. Nobody wants to die. Why? Because our deeper nature, our spiritual nature is eternal. Not only is the soul eternal, but it's nayovanam cha. It's ever youthful. It's everyone would like to keep, between 16 and 18. Rah. Those years, right? You're so naive and innocent, but everyone would like, but that's because the soul is nayovanam cha. It's a natural desire. The soul's eternally youthful. So people don't want to die, but a saintly person who'll be very sober, my time is limited, let me use it to become Krishna conscious. Materialistic person, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. That's how they approach death. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow. No. We say, chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. But foolish people think, what could be more foolish to thinking that you can cheat death? Krishna says, time I am, destroyer of the world. It includes you. It's the biggest illusion to think that I can cheat death. And perhaps the most famous person was Hiranyakashipu. We all know the story from the 7th canto, right? He got a benediction from Brahma. You get a benediction from Brahma, the engineer of this universe. He's so smart, he's got 4 heads. He's a devata. Devatas have the right to give blessings, but material blessings, which are temporary. So he thought that, he wanted to be immortal, na yovanam cha. I guess he didn't read Bhagavad Gita. He went to Brahma and he asked he tried to cover everything. I don't want to die in the day, I don't want to die at night, I don't want to die on the land or in the water or the sky by the hands of a snake from the lower planets, a human, a devata. He had covered everything. But we won't go into that now. You know that he didn't cover everything. The Lord is the smartest of the smart. He's the source of all intelligence. So Hiranyakashipu was killed by half man, half lion, neither inside or outside, and the doorway, etc., etc., etc. You can't cheat death. It's not possible. Or the potter. There was a potter, a sculptor, actually. It's a true story. They tell it in Bengal all the time. There was a sculptor. He was such a, I mean, it looked like 3D nowadays when he sculpted something out of marble and he painted it. It's so good. So one day, out of curiosity, he went to an astrologer. And he said, how's my life going to be? Am I going to get married? Where will I live? How much? And when am I going to die? Astrologers don't tell you when you're going to die, generally. Would be too much. But he paid him, bribed him. So the astrologer said, okay, you're going to die 6 months from now on the first week of that month at 1 o'clock and 1 o'clock and 3 minutes 1 o'clock and 3 minutes in your artist's home there. So he had it down to the exact the minute and the second you're going to die. He wrote it all down. Whoa! I got 6 months. I don't want to die. Yamaraj is going to come and take me. So what he did is he carved 9 sculptings of himself in different form, like this and like this and that and that and like that. And he's very expert, and he painted these sculptings. And when the 6 months time came, that day came, that hour came, in his studio, he placed them in 9 different places, and he stood amongst them. Pause. And these donkeys, like we have horses, like carriage with 6. Yamaraj has 8 donkeys, and he He crashed into the studio, and Yamaraj, okay, Ahanya Hani Bhutani, every day, millions of living entities are going to my kingdom. I don't have time to wait around. I got to pick them all up today. So this is the sculptor. I got the right address. So, and momentarily he was bewildered. Oh, wait a minute! I got to hurry. Which one is it? Which is the real? I heard he was a good sculptor. Which is the real sculptor? He couldn't figure it out. They all look the same, and inside the sculptor's laughing. I cheated death. No, I shouldn't smile. But there's a saying that we should follow in the footsteps of the Mahajans, not try to cheat them. So there's 12 Mahajans, 12 authorities in the science of bhakti or devotional service. Prahlad Maharaj, Bhishma, who are the others? The 12 Mahajans. Look up the 12 Mahajans. I'm shocked you don't know. That's because you're my student and I don't know. So how are you supposed to know? Who are the 12 Mahajans? The authorities on devotional service. Whoever gets it first gets a piece of Shama's chocolate cake tomorrow. Lord Brahma, Narada, Shiva, you're late. 4 Kumaras, Kapila, Swayambhuva Manu, Prahlad, Janaka Maharaj, Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami, and I, Yama. Yama means Yamaraj. These are the authorities, our authorities, actually. We talk about Guru Parampara and how important the disciplic succession is. So these are the heads of our disciplic. They are anything. What they say is devotional. What they say is not devotional is not. They're the authorities. So Yamaraj is one. So he's very intelligent. So he thought, stop this nonsense. You know what he did? He looked around and he said, geez, they told me this guy was a sculptor, but his work's really sloppy. I mean, this is the worst work I've seen any sculptor. Look at the ear there; it's all off. The nose is not straight. Look at that one; the toes bent. He's going on, and the real sculptor, hey, what are you talking about? All right, come on. His false ego. He spoke up. He was complaining. No, I'm a good sculptor. Come on, you can't fool. You can't cheat death. Walt Disney, Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, da, 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 da. So when he had cancer in the 50s, he didn't want to die. So consultation with the doctors, thinking ahead in time, they thought, well, we'll freeze your body, not to death, but just before death, and slow everything down, slow the cancer down. So and hopefully, we'll find a cure for cancer in the next 10 or 20 years, and then we'll unfreeze you and fix you. So this is actually a true story. I don't know if the Potter story is really true, but you tell a lie long enough, people start to believe it. I've been saying since 1970 that was a true story. Anyway, it's a Bengali story, the Potter. So that's what they did. In Los Angeles, they had this hospital where they cooled the body down to whatever degree and put him in there. And they were checking, and the cancer was not spreading. About 2 years later, there was this mass outage of electricity in Los Angeles. It lasted about 4 or 5 days. And, people suffered. There was no lighting, there was no heating, there was no cooling. And they went to check on Walt Disney afterwards, and he thawed out and died. That was the biggest news on the newspaper. He thawed out because there was no cooling temp. So he tried to cheat death, but you can't cheat death. And then there's the ride to Ahmedabad. You know that story? The ride to Ahmedabad. There was a wealthy man, and he ordered his servant. Well, they had a good relationship. He ordered his servant, "You please go to the market and buy some fruits and vegetables for the offering today." So the servant's very loyal. He got down, he's got bags, and he goes and he's buying the fruits and vegetables in the market, and he looks into a dark corner, and he sees Yamaraj. We always paint Yamaraj like a Mahajan, but he's got his, death is terrifying also. He's just very terrifying. He saw death. Oh my God. Death has come to take me today. Yamaraj has come to take me. So he grabbed the fruits and vegetables really fast and he ran back to his master. Fell over and spilled all the fruits and vegetables. "What's happening?" the master said. "I saw death in the corner of the market. He's come to take me." So the master said, "No, you have to go to Ahmedabad, just like 1,000 kilometers away. You take my horse, and you get on that horse, and you go to Ahmedabad. You escape here so Yamaraj can't get you." So, "Yes, master." So he got on the horse. He's like, "I cheated death." So the master was very upset with Yamaraj. So he went down to the market looking for Yamaraj. So I wouldn't advise that. And there in the corner, he saw Yamaraj. He walked up. He said, "Yamaraj." "Yes. What do you want?" "You came here to take my servant to your abode today. I just want to say how upset I am with you that you came here to the market to take him." So Yamaraj said, "What's his name?" So the master gave the name of his servant. Yamaraj pulled out his little black book. I don't have an appointment with him here this morning. I have an appointment with him on the road to Ahmedabad this evening. Uwaga, we say in Polish. Be careful. So yaye gum akale jam chari na. That's another Bengali proverb. Yaye gum akale jam chari na. You shouldn't really memorize this one. It's kind of gross. It's that even if I smeared stool all over my body, I couldn't keep Yamaraj away when my time came. Don't chant that mantra. Gaye gum akale jam chari na. Even if I smeared stool over my body, it wouldn't keep Yamaraj. Everyone has to die. Of course, those who are pious, who know Vedic culture, who are devotees of the Lord, we know, of course, we have to die also, but we know how to transcend death. We meet death in a different way, with a big smile on our face. Come on, back home, I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. I've been chanting Hare Krishna, get out of here. Come on, Haribol, like my mom, Krishna. It takes some courage. You have to have faith in the holy names. You have to have faith in the holy. But there's various, transcending death, there's various ways, like, well, for example, Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj was more than qualified to go back home, back to Godhead. So when his time came, the Vaikuntha Vasis, the residents of Vaikuntha, they came on a flower airplane. And it's not mythology, it's not utopia. There are flower airplanes. 300 years ago, people couldn't imagine a huge metallic airplane flying in the sky. So don't think it's just some kind of thing. That there are flower airplanes. And the Vishnu Dutas come down to take the devotees back to the spiritual world. When, oh, when will that day be ours? A flower airplane. You're not going to be, oh, I don't want to die. Come on, you guys. That's really cool. You know, that flower airplane. I was just joking. So they came down to take Dhruva, because he was his history. You could give many lessons on Dhruva. So Dhruva got in the plane. Okay, let's go. And he said to the Vishnu Dutas, wait a minute, where's my mom? Because mom's like the first guru, really. Mom and dad, they're the first gurus. So he said, where's my mom? And they said, she's not ready. So Dhruva said, I'm not going back to Godhead without my mom. And the Vishnu Duta said, but Krishna's waiting for you. You can't say that. I'm not going back to Godhead without my mom. So they're thinking, they're going to get back without Dhruva, and the Lord's going to be upset with the Vishnu Dutas. So they said, oh, let's go get her. So they went back down, and they got the mother. By Dhruva's devotion, by Dhruva's bhakti, his love for Krishna, and a devotee of Krishna, she was delivered. So I'm not saying cheating death, but this is a transcendental, we're transcending death through devotional service, through the mercy of a devotee. Dhruva's mom went back to the spiritual world. Savitri and Satyavan, you could say cheated death, but not in a bad way, but in a good way. Satyavan proposed to Savitri, very pious girl, her main quality was chastity. She was very chaste. Men can also be chaste. We always think women chaste, but men can also be chaste. When Ram left to go to the forest to find Marichi, the deer was calling his name. Actually, Sita wanted the deer. So Ram said, I'll go get the deer. So he ran to get the deer. And then Marichi, in the voice of Ram, said, Lakshman, help! So Sita said to Lakshman, who was guarding her in the forest, go help your brother. Go help. He said, no, Sita, this is a Rakshasa saying Ram's name. I should stay here and protect you. She said, you're just staying here to enjoy me. She said to Lakshman. She became so. He said, Mother, I've never looked above you. I've never looked above your ankles. Lakshmana. He was with her. They in the palace. I've never seen more than your ankle. I haven't looked at your body. I've never looked above your ankles. This is chastity. So she was chaste, Savitri. The woman, that's real beauty, actually. So they went to the astrologer because he proposed to her, so they wanted to see if it was a good match. So they went, and he said, "This is, yes, it's a good match, but Satyavan, you're going to die in 1 year to this day. So I wouldn't go ahead with this marriage." So they went home and they told their parents, and Savitri said, "Doesn't matter. I've given my heart to this boy. I've given my heart to this boy. How can I give my heart to another?" She was so chaste. "I will marry him." So they married. And they lived a little outside of town. He was a woodcutter. Satyavan, he was cutting wood every day and piling it. Nice simple job. And the day came. And he was out chopping wood. And she was home cooking, hoping it wouldn't happen. And Yamaraj, with his donkey, get in the chariot. You knew this is your last. Get in the chariot. So you don't argue with Yamaraj. He got in the chariot. The news spread very quickly to Savitri. She dropped the cooking. She ran to the forest. Just as that chariot was about to take off, she said, "Yamaraj, don't take my husband." Yamaraj said, "It's his time. Everyone has his time. This was predicted. You know your time. But please, he's the love of my life. I've given my heart to him. I cannot give my heart to another man." Yamaraj took off at the speed of light. And Savitri, because of her purity, because of her chastity, she had siddhis. She had a siddhi because of her chastity, and she flew behind the chariot. Yamaraj was like, "What?" He was shocked. "Who's this girl? What is this quality? How powerful is this chastity?" So he said, "Go back. No, please. Don't take my husband. His time has come. Please, Yamaraj." "No." So she was a smart girl. She said, "At least, if you're going to take my husband, at least bless me with a son." "All right, I bless you with a son." "I'm a chaste girl. I can't have a son with anyone but my husband." So Yamaraj said, "You got me on that one. Here's your husband back." And they live happily forever after. Well, isn't that nice story? That's not cheating death, it's just transcending death. There's two ways to approach something, the right way and the wrong way. All right, take him back here. Ajamil, he didn't even know he was doing it. He was very attached to his son, Narayan. So the son was dying, or he died? He's dead. Oh, Ajamil, that's right. Ajamil it was a long ride down here, guys. Ajamil was dying, so when he was dying, he was calling out to that which you love the most. I remember in the 60s, on the reports were coming back from the war in Vietnam. The Americans were fighting in Vietnam. And one reporter was saying that he was a reporter and also a doctor. He said, most men, when they're dying, they call out to their mother. Oh, that's interesting. The bond between mother and child is very deep. So most of the soldiers, "Mom, mother," and they die. Yam yam vapis maram bavam tiyotadatikalavaram. Whatever you love the most, you'll call out to. So gradually, you have to shift our attachments from everything in this world to Sri Krishna Bhagavan. and whatever is in relationship to that's in our interest. It's not easy, but we have to. As young boys are attracted to young girls, and young girls are attracted to young boys, Rupa Goswami says, with the same intensity, but in a transcendental spiritual way. My dear Lord, let me be attached to you. That doesn't mean you ignore your family members or your friends or devotees, but you love them as Krishna's parts and parcels. You see the soul, not the body. So love reigns supreme in Krishna consciousness. So Ajamil was very attached to his son. So Narayan, 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 death came. So the Lord said, there's that person chanting my name, go get him, bring him back. Well, he's not chanting the name of his son, it's also my name. Agyatsu Kriti. He doesn't know he's chanting my name. Go. So he didn't go back to Godhead, but he didn't go to hell either. He took birth. In his next birth, he perfected his devotional service and went back home, back to Godhead. So see how powerful is Krishna consciousness, even unconscious, You're chanting around, dinner, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But if you're chanting the holy name so kind, especially Mahaprabhu, in the long run, he doesn't accept our offenses. He only accepts our service. Therefore, the demigods are begging to take birth on this planet during the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. And you're in the movement. Some of you were born in the movement. Some of you came. It doesn't matter. But if you're in this movement, what does it mean? Not living in a temple, but it means mainly chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare. And what about Maharaj Parikshit? He made an offense, quote unquote, to the king, to the Brahmana, and he put the snake around his. So that was considered offensive. So therefore, the Brahmana's son cursed him. I see the play every day. It was a long journey here from us, from the Baltic Sea to the Macedonia. Where is this? Next to Greece. So he was cursed to die in 7 days. So he accepted it. He welcomed death. Actually, there's 2 verses I found in my studies today where he shows no fear at the moment of death. He sees it as an upgrade. Everyone knows Srimad Bhagavatam 1:19, 15. And I'll repeat his words. O Brahmanas, just accept me as a completely surrendered soul and let Mother Ganges, the representative of the Lord, also accept me in that way. For I have already taken the lotus feet of the Lord into my heart. Let the snake bird or whatever magical thing the Brahman created bite me at once. I only desire that you all continue singing the deeds of Lord Vishnu. Transcended death. That's a famous part, right? I think it's in our play, right? Let the snake bird or whatever magical thing the Brahman has created to curse me, bite me at once. Like, come on, like Dhruva, when that flower airplane came, because he's such a great devotee, death paid obeisances to Dhruva. And to get into the airplane, Dhruva stepped on his head. Excuse me. He went in the flower airplane. Then there's another verse spoken to Sukadeva Goswami, 12th canto, 6th chapter, 6th verse. I found it today. I thought that was the only reference. My Lord, I now have no fear of Takshaka or any other living being, or even of repeated deaths, because I have absorbed myself in that purely spiritual, absolute truth, which you have revealed and which destroys all fear. So we deal with death in that way. We have no fear because Rake Krishna Mare Ke, Mare Krishna Rake Ke. Krishna wants to kill you, no one can save you. And if Krishna wants to save you, no one can kill you. So if Krishna wants to kill me, it can only be better because we've experienced in our lives that Krishna consciousness just gets better and better and better and better. There's ups and downs, but it's like this. It's not like this. There's some downs, but the up and the down, the up. So we stick to the transcendental Jaladuta and we make it happen. And, of course, we have various mantras of Nrsingadev who can protect us so that we can continue serving our spiritual master's desires. Ugram Viram Mahavishnu Jvalantam Sarvato Mukam Shringam Vishanam Bhadram Mrityu Namam. I offer my obeisances unto the ferocious and powerful, the great Vishnu, the fiery one, whose faces are on all sides, the fearful one, the Shringa, who causes the death of death. Mrityu Mrityum. He can kill death. And so you can take shelter of him. If you're destined to die, he can kill death. Who causes the death of death personified. Who can help one overcome death. So that's very relevant. And most relevant, in conclusion, because it's getting late, in conclusion, we know how to transcend death very easily, very blissfully, very happily. Srimad Bhagavatam 1:1-14. Apana samshitam goram yannama vishvasho grinan tata sadyo vimuccheta yad bibeti swayambhayam. Living beings who are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death can be freed immediately by even unconsciously chanting the holy names of Krishna, which are feared by fear personified. What a great way to end the class. That verse is classic. It's on the tongue of every shlokawala. It's such an important verse. We're speaking about death. Here's the way, the best way to transcend it. Living beings who are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death can be freed immediately by even unconsciously chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, which is feared by fear personified. So, Prabhus, fear not, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.